All right, this is Learning to Juggle with Dean Bolt, and you got to get started by having the right materials. You need three of something, three balls of some kind. Now, obviously, a football is going to be really hard to juggle. You can actually juggle anything, which you're going to figure out later. But what you're going to want to go to, because they're usually sitting around the house, are a tennis ball, and this is a last resort. Tennis balls are bouncy, and tennis balls are too light, and so really I wouldn't go with this if you can at all avoid it. If you do go with a tennis ball and you're really courageous, you can actually cut a hole in the tennis ball with a sharp knife. Don't cut yourself. Put 8 pennies inside there. That'll add weight, plus they won't bounce nearly as much, so that's just a trick for you to maybe consider. Some other things maybe around the house. Oranges are actually perfect, but after you mess with them, you're not going to want to eat them. So oranges great for juggling, but I would just say probably not. These are kind of the cheap juggling balls that they work really well. I use it in large groups. I have hundreds of these things for when I take these out, and they're really good. They're just not all that solid in terms of weight. They're not quite heavy enough. And so what we did is we put some duct tape around some of them, and it gave it a little bit more weight, and those are really nice. Another really good thing, if you happen to know someone, or maybe you've played lacrosse before, lacrosse balls are really bouncy, and we can learn bouncy juggling, which is a whole nother thing, but they also add some weight, but they're going to just bounce away from you as soon as you drop them, and I guarantee you will drop them. So some people say, start with scarves. You'll go to PE class and you'll start with scarves. That's actually really a bad idea, because juggling is throwing and catching, and scarves are very different. You have to place and move your arms very differently. It doesn't teach you. So step number 1, find 3 objects that you can use that you can practice juggling. Okay, so the next step is to figure out what juggling is. And juggling, just by definition, is keeping more objects in the air as you have hands. And you can see I've got 3 balls here. I have 2 hands. I have taught people with different abilities with one arm actually to juggle, no big deal. If you're juggling 3 balls like this counts for juggling. If I put 1 ball down and I do this, 2 balls, 2 hands, not juggling. But if I drop 1 hand behind me and I throw the balls in the air, that counts for juggling. Another couple things about juggling, just so you know, juggling happens in patterns. You'll notice that what I'm doing here is I'm throwing up and under the other ball. Under, 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 under. If I switch one thing, I can throw them over. So those are just a couple of patterns. I'm going to show you lots of different patterns, because if you already know how to juggle 3 balls, then I'm going to challenge you to learn some tricks. And those are some things I'll teach you in just a little while. The last thing about juggling, just take a look. This is really a 2-dimensional thing. If you start throwing out, you're going to hit the ball right in front of you, and that's going to cause that's going to cause you to hit the ball. So what you want to do is create space, and that space has to be 2-dimensional. Basically, it's in this space. When you're looking straight at a juggler, it looks good. When you look at a juggler from the side, it actually just looks not very good, because you don't have that 3rd dimension. So you got to keep everything kind of, I always say, juggle in a window pane. So what I'm going to ask you to do is every step that you'll start, I want you to be able to juggle successfully for 20 throws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Every time you're able to do 20 throws successfully, move on to the next step. All right, so I told you that there would be a number of steps, and really it's important that you stick to each of these steps and practice these steps until you really know them. This first step is going to be kind of insulting, because it's going to be really easy, but it's going to help you learn kind of where you need to be. You need to have your hands kind of at 90-degree angles, your arms at 90-degree angles, and you need to think like throwing in a box. So you're not throwing straight up, you're throwing actually to the corners of a box. You're throwing diagonally, and that's why your hands kind of stay by your sides. And when you do that, you're practicing your throws, the quality of your throws. Throwing is way more important than catching in terms of learning juggling. If you can learn to throw well, the catching will come. So pay really good attention to your throws. So what I want you to do is when you throw, just throw across from one side to the other. You'll notice that what I'm doing is throwing about a little bit higher than my eyes. And each time I can, actually it goes into my sight and then out. I don't watch the ball go into my hands. It actually just goes up and back. And when I throw, you're going to notice that it's not always easy to throw a perfect throw to land in that spot. So you want to practice the quality of your throws. up and over each time. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have one smart hand that's really good at throwing and one not so smart hand. And you're gonna practice. In juggling, we always have to learn things on both sides. Bilateral, we're crossing the midline, really good for a lot of different cognitive tasks. Good stuff. When you throw, I'm not flipping or anything, I'm not spinning. It's just sort of a dead toss. Open your fingers, and when I catch, you don't reach up to catch, you actually absorb when you catch. You throw it up, and your hand comes down a little bit with the weight of the ball each time, which gives you a chance to then throw. So this is step 1, just one ball, back and forth, 20 times in a row, and you're ready for step 2. Okay, juggling step 2. You just did one ball throws back and forth, and this is where it's kind of interesting. Everybody wants to grab a second ball, but this part is really key because juggling is throwing, catching, but it's really a lot about rhythm. It's about your timing, and it's about independent messages coming from your brain. You can't pre-program your throws and catches. They all have to be independent. Your hands have to become educated to be able to act on each different throw. And sometimes we put two things together. You know, when you like try to pat your head and rub your belly and your hands do the same thing happens in juggling. We have to educate our hands to do things separately. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is throw the ball, and at the peak of the throw, what I want you to do is snap your fingers in the catching hand. So it goes throw, snap, catch. And you can even say that, throw, snap, catch. Throw, snap, catch. And the key here is sometimes people throw and snap at the same time because they can't really think about that, and you want to tell yourself to snap. When you see the peak, throw, snap, catch. Throw, snap, catch. Throw, snap, catch. If you can't snap, just do a one-hand clap on this side. I'm not a great snapper. There you go. Throw, snap, catch. Throw, snap, catch. 20 times without dropping, and get the rhythm down, and make sure you're deciding each time to snap. You're not just pre-programming it with one motor program. We won't get into motor programs right now. Throw, snap, catch. All right, we are moving along. Step 3 in juggling is going to involve a second ball. And this is really the point where you're probably going to stop and you'll spend a lot of time on step 3. Step 1, you'll probably get within minutes. Step 2, spend a little more time on it, get that timing down, get that independent throw, even throw some of those, higher so that you throw, snap, catch, really mess around with that a little bit. But when you get to step 3, you add that second ball and things change. So with step 3, what you're doing is 2 throws and 2 catches. But the timing goes like this. It goes throw, throw, catch. Throw, throw, catch. So watch, throw, throw, catch. Throw, throw, catch. Throw, throw, catch. So you notice I'm doing actually throw, throw, catch, catch. But what I want to do when I think of the rhythm is just throw, throw, because that throw, that second throw and that first catch happen almost simultaneously. Throw, throw, catch. This is hard. You're going to drop balls on the ground with this, but this is the key. If you can do throw, throw, catch, you are going to make yourself into a juggler before too long. Throw, throw, catch is really the foundation when you get to this point, and really you're teaching yourself to throw accurately, you're teaching yourself to catch accurately, and you're teaching yourself to get the timing right so that you don't throw like this, where it's throw, throw. Instead, it's throw, wait, throw, catch. Throw, throw, catch. And what you're often going to see is yourself going to throw, and then you'll do a little throw on this side. You'll throw up and throw a little on that side. It's because you can't get that second throw going and you don't have 2 motor programs going. Here's how to trick yourself. If you're feeling comfortable starting with one hand, start with the other hand. So you start with your right hand, throw, throw, catch, and then start with your left, throw, throw, catch. Each time break that up so that each time you're practicing throwing across, there's room to throw the second ball because the first ball is going on an angle up in the air. Throw, throw, catch. 20 in a row, no cheats, all look good, alternating right and left hand. If you can do that, you can do that multiple times. Really, you should stick with this for a while. If you can do that, you're ready for the next step. All right, so you just finished step 3, was it? Throw, throw, catch, right? So you're throw, throw, catch, and you got 20 in a row, and you didn't drop them, and you're feeling really comfortable. In fact, you're a little bored and insulted that I'm forcing you to keep doing this. So this is now the next step. You're gonna add a third ball, sort of. And now this is the time where I usually, in a big group, I'll say get a partner. Now, with social distancing, your partner needs to be about 6 feet away, which works out perfectly. Just don't touch your eyes, your nose, you know, you got it all. So with that third ball, basically all I want you to do is do the same thing you just did, where you go throw, throw, catch, and just feel that other ball in your hand. So you've got two balls in one hand. I don't care which side you start with. Throw, throw, catch. You already knew how to do that. Do it again. Throw, throw, catch. And eventually you'll go, well, it's not fun to catch with a ball already in your hand, so now I'm going to get rid of it. So instead of throw, throw, catch, I'm going to say throw, throw, go. I'm going to make that second catch, but I'm going to get rid of this ball just in some way so that I free up my hand. So it's going to be like this, and I'm going to throw it to my partner who's holding camera. I'm going to go throw, throw, go. Throw, throw, go. And while that second one's coming in, you'll notice I'm ready to make my second catch. I already know how to do it. I'm just going to get rid of it. And sometimes it'll look like this. You'll go throw, throw, and you'll just drop it. That's great. Always, always in juggling, do the next thing and always release the ball. A lot of people, they're control freaks and they want to control everything. I would rather have you drop everything everywhere in an attempt to keep going, because you're going to learn faster if you keep releasing the balls. So throw, throw, go. Have some fun with this. If you learn on one side, practice on the other side. This is going to be one of the keys to juggling. All right, new sunny day, same plan. You just ended with throw, throw, go, which is like a 1, 2, and then that third one you're tossing out to get rid of it. So you're just adding one little piece where you're tossing that third ball. Now we want to add one throw to that and toss the fourth ball. So all three of these balls are going to be thrown to myself. So I'm going to change from throw, throw, go to just remind myself self, 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 and then that last one is a pass. So I go self, 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 pass. And I toss that out to another person or to the wall. Looks like this: self, 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 pass. I'm just adding one extra throw and building some confidence. Now, you're gonna have a hard time with each of these, but all of them have to be good throws. So if you're getting in trouble, just kind of go 1, 2, 3. And just let them drop so you have 3 good throws. Don't get worried about catching. Just go ahead and throw them up and make sure you get 3 good throws. 1, 2, 3. If you can get 3 good throws, you can end up with the ability to catch them. 3 good throws, 3 good catches. So just one more time: self, 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 pass. That's the next step. Okay, this last step really is just an accumulation of the number of throws. To be able to juggle, you're going to have to be able to make 20 consecutive throws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 20. Once you get to 20, contact me. You get your new juggling balls. It's going to be fantastic. I want to see the video of you juggling those 20. So that first time, it might not work. Second or third time, so you have to practice a few times and then send me a video of those 20 throws. So to go from self, 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 pass to the next one, you just want to try to go one more each time. And what's going to happen is you're going to start hurrying. And what often happens when you do this is, because you're hurrying, you release just a little early, which means the balls go in front of you, and you'll see yourself pulling or walking forward. So I'm just going to back up here. I'm just going to show you what happens. Once you get going and you're getting nervous, if they start going forward, just go ahead and walk with them. Whoop, sorry. Walk with them as you're going. And that, make sure there's nobody in front of you, and that will help you just get into the rhythm. And then just start counting and going for a personal goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then try again. See if you can get more than 6 or more than 7, up to 8. When you get up to about 10, you'll feel the rhythm. You'll feel like you've got this, and then it's just a matter of practice. You're going to make it all the way there. Okay, so what I've taught you is what's called the cascade, and the cascade is when each ball goes under, 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 under. Juggling is about patterns, and I'm going to teach you new patterns so that you can have a chance to learn new things as you go. Under, 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 under. That's the cascade. Okay, so with the cascade, if I'm going along, I can actually just take one ball and throw it up over the top, and that's a different thing with your pattern. You throw it up and over, and if you do that over and over again, and you throw one over the top each way, you see one hand is going up and one hand is going over. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. That's called a half shower. You can do a half shower in both directions, under, over, under, over. A lot of these tricks are named for water. This one is called the half shower. Under, over, over, half shower. So if I go under for everyone, it makes perfect sense that I can go over for everyone, but I don't teach you that first because half shower is easier to learn. And then when you half shower on both sides, actually it ends up being what's called, for a lack of creativity, a reverse cascade. Over, 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 over. Reverse cascade, under, 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 cascade, over, 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 reverse cascade. That's a new trick. So another trick you can learn is the seesaw, and I use a different color ball just so you can see what's happening here. With the seesaw, I'm actually just going to throw one ball back and forth, and you notice that the other two balls actually just stay in my hand. And look, it's called tennis or seesaw. It kind of looks like one ball just goes back and forth. This is a kind of a hard move. When the ball comes over, you're actually going to wait for it to pass and throw this one up in the air, and then you'll catch the other one and throw that back over. Watch this. Up and over. Up and over. And that other ball goes up in the air and comes down in the same hand. Up and over. And then I just do that on both sides. Up and over, up and over, up and over. And it looks pretty good. It's a pretty cool trick. If you move your body a little, it kind of makes it look a little better. That's called the seesaw. So with the general cascade, what I can do is just take one ball and show you a trick where it looks really easy, but it's actually kind of hard because two balls have to be thrown and caught at the same time. And it's called columns, and you'll understand why in a second. If I just take one ball, throw it up in the middle, and two on the outside, that is columns. And if you can learn columns, you can do different tricks from it. And I'll show you that in just a second. This is columns. So I'm going along and I want to do columns, and there's a certain trick I can do. And what I say when I'm kind of showing people how this works is that I have a magnet in one of these. So if I just take a ball, toss it up in the air and get that going, you notice that I can make this look like there's a magnet pulling that ball up. That is a hard trick. It took me a while to learn, and you can see it's really hard to keep going. So this next one here is called the box, and it comes out of columns, that same thing. And it took me a long time to learn this one, but it's super cool when it's done. I'm not very good at it. I'll probably drop it. But basically what's happening is I'm doing columns and I'm bringing a second ball up. Instead of throwing it up in the air, I'm actually just showing it. And then when it's supposed to drop to the ground, I slide over and I drop it on the other side. It's really a tough trick to learn. It starts with columns like this, and then I show. As you can see here, I'm showing. And then the last part is to go up, over, and drop. And when I drop, I actually have to catch a ball. You'll see this. I have to catch a ball on a diagonal with a clawing action down on the other side. Pretty tough to do. It's super cool when you see it. It's hard to do. I'm going to try this. Here we go. 1, 2. Hey, I did it a couple times. So when you're juggling along, you'll notice that the balls are not going in a circle, they're going in a pattern under, under, under. And you like the idea of a circle, and that's what this is called. It's called a fountain. And you'll notice that I have to throw two balls kind of from the same side and catch them on the other side. It's kind of hard to do because I have to cross my hands and you get them going in a certain direction. I can do it from both sides. It's kind of hard to keep consistent throws, but the idea here is that the balls are traveling the same direction. So this next trick looks more difficult than it is, and I would say it's maybe the second or third trick that I learned. Basically, it's out of the cascade pattern, and you just put a ball on top of your head. So I'm gonna just throw one ball kind of high in the air, just so I get used to it. Throw one ball high in the air. When I throw it high in the air, that gives me a little extra time. The next throw, instead of throwing it, I'm gonna put the ball on my head, and then just let it drop off. And then I'm gonna catch that other ball, that's the hard part. From up here, after I put it down, I have to catch a ball as I reach across. You'll notice, here we go, ball on head. And it's pretty easy to do. Just keep putting the ball on your head, let it drop forward, and then you'll notice that the other ball that's coming off my head, it just drops into my other hand. Okay, so this is a different concept, but everything I showed you up could actually happen down with bouncing. I'm not very good at this, so you won't see very much. But if you have 3 lacrosse balls or any kind of bouncy balls, you can actually go down. Okay, so I've taught my family to juggle. I'm actually 2 for 3. My third daughter just is not interested yet, but I think I'll teach her when she comes home for COVID. My son learned when we were in England, and we did a semester abroad, and so he is now holding the camera. So I'm just going to switch, and he has a couple of different tricks that I actually am not very good at. So he's going to do those for you. So
Can you explain?
the first one is called just a 3-ball start. What he does is just puts 3 in one hand, pops it in the air, and then he can just start. Oh, good. Way to go, son. This is George. He's 18. Goes to school in Minnesota because they have a football team, and he kind of likes that. So 3-ball start. Don't choke now, son. You've got this.
I got that.
Oh, man.
Oh.
One more try. One more try.
There we go.
Okay, so while he's doing this, you can keep going.
Okay.
While he's doing this, he's going to show you the net catch, which I can do, but I dropped most of them. So he's going to show you the net catch. Really cool. And then he starts it up again. Wow, do it one more time. You just catch one on your neck and then flip it back up in the air. He's way more agile than I am. Pretty good. Oh, look at that. He's got the fountain a little bit, little half shower. There's the seesaw. Oh, same as me. Okay, so like if you really want to get crazy, you get yourself a set of juggling pins, all that same stuff that we talked about, different patterns and so on, but you actually have to flip each time. So with the juggling pins, they look pretty cool, but they just do a single flip every time around. You can do a double flip, you can do lots of things, you can put it under your leg. Whoa! You can do like different things with it, but just keep your head back because these things really hurt. I've popped myself on the head several times. Okay, a new idea. This is a lot of fun. It's good social distancing, about 6 feet apart. What we're gonna do is pass. So I'll send one ball his direction, he'll send one my direction. So passing always works like this. You throw with your right hand to his left. At the same time, he's throwing one to me with his right hand to my left. And to time it up, what we do is we start together and we kind of talk it out. So I'll say 1, 2, and we'll throw our first 2 to ourselves, and then we'll pass. So we start together and we go 1, 2, pass. 1, 2, pass. 1, 2, pass. 1, 2, pass. 1, 2, pass, and so on. Oh, we can keep going.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna show you just how that goes to make it look a little cooler. We're just gonna put one throw in between. It's just gonna be 1 pass, 1 pass. Here we go. Ready? 1 pass, 1 pass, 1. Whoa! Pass. Try again. 1 pass. So you got the idea, and then eventually you can just pass every time. So you just go 1 pass, pass. Maybe not.